Hello and welcome to another Sinister Sunday. Today we're going to go over true paranormal experiences from people all over the world. Whether or not you believe in the paranormal, the people who report having these experiences are certain that when it comes to paranormal activity, they've experienced something they simply cannot explain. Get all comfy, because this week we're going to talk about true paranormal cryptid experiences people have had. These stories creep the people out who had the experience so bad they wished to stay anonymous, but they did tell their stories to BuzzFeed. Our first story takes place in Alabama. The writer says, I lived in one of Alabama's metropolitan areas. Sure, we're surrounded by rural country and forests, but our actual city consists of a large, busy, mid to downtown area. Everywhere is populated, commercialized expanse of suburb. Due to this, I never expected to see any creatures. Not any of the cryptid variety anyway. But one day, in the early morning, I was waiting in line at a drive-thru window. Across a very, very highly trafficked road sat a large, unoccupied hill. Just beyond that was a rather large church. I noticed what I thought was a black cat sauntering across the hill. But then I realized it was massive. I mean, at least the size of a panther, if not larger, and it started moving fast. It was almost to the top of the hill when it got up on its hind legs and cleared some fallen branches, in a motion similar to you or I hopping a fence. It landed back on all fours and disappeared over the hill. I told myself it was nothing for a couple of years, but eventually some friends who were visiting from out of town called me in a confused panic. They were riding bikes down the same highway in a less populated, more rural and wooded spot. Apparently, Bagheera, from the Jungle Book, had run out in front of their bikes, didn't even look at them, and in the next motion shifted to its hind legs and bounded back into the woods. And in that moment, I knew what I saw was real. But what the heck was it? Our second story took place a couple of years ago. The writer states, her boyfriend decided to rent a cottage out in the boonies of Quebec so they could all get together and celebrate her birthday, which became sort of a tradition across the last few years. We headed out there, and the cottage itself was kind of weird. It's all natural clay and thatching, very old school and very isolated from the other 4 or so cottages on a very small lake with a looming kind of unfinished road to get to the actual property. It was nestled in a little inlet of the lake, and it was basically surrounded by marsh, wetland on one side and thick bush on the other, and the beach area had a little fire pit and chairs. There was one piece of solid land that stuck out into this kind of marsh area. The location was odd because it obscured the view of the lake. It was hard to see or hear the other people who might be enjoying the other cottages unless you actually went out into the water. So let's cut to later that night. There's about 10 of us, and we're all celebrating and having a good time at the barbecue around the fire pit. We were talking and finishing eating. I put the paper plate down on the ground next to me for a quick second to explain something to my friend with my hands, as I do, and when I looked back to grab the plate and take it to the garbage, there was a grapefruit-sized ball of orange hair just sitting on the top of the plate, It was about 4 inches long, frizzy, and very fine, a bright rusty orange color, and it didn't break apart when you handled it. It was only a split second that I looked away from the plate, so there was an extremely low chance something could have ran past or blown onto the plate without anybody having seen it. It was about 4 inches long, frizzy, and very fine. It was a rusty burnt orange color, and it didn't break apart when you handled it, but it was definitely hair. As the night continued, we had all went back into the cabin. My boyfriend and I decided to step out and get some crisp night air, look at the stars, and have a romantic moment. As soon as we opened the patio door, the stench of rotting animal hit us like a wave of sticky air. It reeked of death. This was odd because it was cold outside by then. We immediately got turned off by the smell and headed back inside. Cut to the next day, we're driving home and we're so tired that we stopped for some coffee about halfway through our drive. As we're sitting outside having our lattes, one of the girls says, "So, something at that cottage was majorly off." We started putting our stories together from the night before. The girls had went in the cottage, but the boys stayed near the fire. But they all came in just a few minutes later because they heard a tapping and rustling in the wooded area by the fire pit. They had an overwhelming feeling that they were being watched. It spooked them bad. It wasn't until we left the property that we really had a feeling that we came across something paranormal. I thought maybe a skinwalker. When you add all the experiences up, it was the weirdest thing any of us had came across. And it was so creepy how we just laughed everything off. Needless to say, we never went back to that cottage. Do you have a paranormal experience you wish to share? Please contact me on Messenger and I'll be happy to share your story. Thank you again for watching another Sinister Sunday. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, like this video, and share it out. Please check out our Sinister Sunday playlist for more content like this. We'll see you next week.